Invincible Mumu by Han Jung-Wheelia. Chapter 156. Piece of Truth. Part 1. Clench. Quack. Oh Muyang, also known as Yang Muo, woke up from a sharp pain. When he opened his eyes, he noticed someone was holding his hand. The person was Mumu, wearing the face of a stern middle-aged man. Stop. Crack. Yang Muo begged at the pain he was feeling from his fingers being crushed. As a result, Mumu unclenched his hand. Are you feeling a little better now? Yang Muo was speechless at the question. Having captured him and then waking him up in the most wildest way made him think that this guy had no mercy in him. Ha, ha. Yang Muo took a deep breath and looked at Mumu as he asked, "What is your true identity?" "What the hell are?" "Shoo." Mumu took something out of his pocket and showed it to Yang Muo. And this caused his expression to contort it in all sorts of ways in bewilderment at the sight of the jade plaque and the two lines in the triangle. You? You have this too? Where did you get that from? Yang Muo wondered if Mumu took this from someone, but Mumu showed the back of it. Mumu? Mumu. What was written there on the jade was none other than his name, and seeing this only confused him more. After the defeat of the empire-like organization they held, only 4 people with the jade plaque had survived, including himself. Mule, Mui, Musa, and Muo. Mumu? It was a title he was seeing for the first time. As far as he knew, Mu was surely the one attached to their names, and it was the same here. But then, he actually has a title? Mumu's eyes widened. Your reaction is a bit different from Mui's? What? I was quite curious. Mule, Mui, Musum is dead and Musa and Muo, and then the deformed sons which were failures of the man. Yang Muo's face hardened at the words he heard. It was because he was surprised by Mumu, who knew more than he thought. The only ones who knew they were failures was Musa. What the hell is he? He had a jade plaque he had never seen before? As their father's troops were defeated, he was the one who knew the hidden truths about it along with Musa and the guardian warriors. While he was panicking, he heard the voice of someone. Just speak if you know something. It was the familiar voice of Kong Mui. Yang Muo, who found Kong Mui standing with his back leaning against the wall, said with a frown, "Is that what Kong Mui told you? You don't speak with formalities anymore." Kong Mui snorted. Of course he understood this. Since he is the one with a head and a new son came up, he was bound to be full of doubts. Yang Muo snorted and said, "At this point, did you think I would give up the one I am supporting and side with you? I never mentioned wanting any of that." Kong Mui shrugged his shoulders. He had already given up a lot of things, so it didn't matter what happened to being the Lord. He just wanted to share the pain he had suffered. Kong Mui said, "I didn't know that this guy even existed. Of course, we knew that the man had many kids besides us. You, the oldest of us, must know quite a bit except for the great guardian." Yang Muo sighed at the words of Kong Mui. And he softly said, "I don't know." "Oh. Really? If you intend to hear something from my mouth, then just tear it off. I don't know what Kong Mui and you, brat, are up to, but I chose a person I want as a lord. You are deeply loyal to the one who abandoned you." What? At Kong Mui's words, the expression of the man wrinkled. What nonsense was this? Abandoned? To him, who was puzzled, Kong Mui said. Was it young John? He should have said it. Young John? Yang Muo turned his head in the direction Kong Mui was looking in. And he saw young John there, standing with a tense face. Young John? How can you? He gave up on the imperial palace. What? It is as you heard. All the other descendants of 8 evil families have disappeared from the palace. At those words, Yang Muo's eyes trembled. What new nonsense is this? Why did they suddenly disappear? Kong Mui smiled as he said, "Did you know? After this guy dethroned the current emperor, he looked for the descendants of the evil families, but then they all disappeared. 8 evil families. Wait, what was that? Which part? He just dethroned the emperor. Ah. I've been passed out the whole time, so I don't know what is happening. Young John, why aren't you speaking? At Kong Mui's words, young John opened his mouth. The present emperor on the throne is the true king. What nonsense. Clench. Quack. Yang Muo's body twisted like it was in pain as his hand was held. And Mumu said it to warn him, there is no one around, but still talk quietly, okay? Can you do that? At Mumu's words, Yang Muo quickly nodded his head. At this, Mumu unclenched his hand. Yang Muo, who didn't want to feel the pain again, spoke slowly. What do you mean? It is as you have heard. The Lord has dealt with the guards of the palace, and the captain of the Hidden Truth Squad and the current emperor was put on the throne. At those words, Yang Muo was speechless. To be honest, it was something he couldn't believe. How many people can easily accept that the emperor had been dethroned and the true king was now the emperor? Guards of the palace too? Because of their existence, they didn't move hastily. And it was because they thought that such powerful people in the palace shouldn't be made aware of their plans. But Mumu dealt with all of them, and even the captain of the Hidden Truth Squad? Cannot believe it? Who cares? This is the reality. Sigh. Yang Muo's breathing trembled at the sound of Kong Mui's chuckling voice. He was so confused on how this situation was to be dealt with. Yang Muo could only look at Mumu with trembling eyes. What is this? What on earth is he to go and destroy all our plans? He didn't understand. It was even more so if he really was the owner of a jade plaque. If he inherited the blood of that man, why wasn't he thinking of getting revenge? Right. That face. Kong Mui smiled at the despair on the face of Yang Muo. This monster was beyond common sense. And it was even more frightening because no matter how hard they worked, Mumu could not be crossed. The lord you chose ran in fear of this guy. Would you insist on your allegiance if he gave up so easily on you? Crack. Yang Muo grit his teeth at the words of Kong Mui. If he did give up on the imperial palace, then it wasn't actually a wrong decision. It was because if he tried to do something, then he would only get caught, and the probability of the entire plan failing was high. Right decision. But a human heart isn't so rational. No matter how right the decision was, he had bet everything on him. He didn't know that he would give up on his right-hand man who had been helping him for 10 years this easily. Is this the price of the choice? If he looked at the cause, he should accept the whole process, including being abandoned, but it felt so bitter to his heart. Kong Mui told to Yang Muo. A guy like you should be able to rationally judge what is right. At those words, Yang Muo looked at Mumu. Damn it. He began to think now, the situation was already disastrous. The people in the academy and the imperial palace, their plans all destroyed by one person, Mumu. Their skills, their strategy, plans, and contingencies turned useless. With just one overwhelming force, the entire situation was changed. In this situation, can things be reversed if one chose death out of loyalty to nothing? For great warriors, guardians of the palace, hidden troops, Kong Mui, Samuhyo, no one was an easy opponent. Such people collapse too easily. Yang Muo, who was worried about the reality, finally made up his mind. Will my life be guaranteed if I surrender? Kong Mui laughed at those words. He couldn't help it. No matter how much they thought, everyone should know that thoughts or plans don't work for him. Mumu said to Yang Muo, who was practically speaking of surrender. Then can you tell me everything you know? As long as my life is guaranteed, I will speak of everything I know. Nice. Yang Muo sighed in relief at those words, which he accepted readily. On one hand, he didn't like the situation, but as of now, he had to preserve his life. Yang Muo took a peek at Young John and said, "Move from here." Move from here? Yes. At this, Mumu nodded and Young John left. Phew. Yang Muo took a deep breath and asked. Right. What do you want to know? As said earlier, Mule, Mui, Musum, Musa, Muo, and the other deformed sons who were called failures in the castle, what is all that? At that young Muo looked at Kong Mui and asked, Mule and Mui are things you heard from Kong Mui, but how do you know about the failures? I heard. I am asking from who? From a mister known as East River Sword Star. He tried to not show it, but young Muo had no choice but to bite his tongue. He heard rumors of how Mumu defeated the man, but hearing the past from him was too much. If it wasn't for being overwhelmingly strong, there was no way that man would have opened his mouth. And Kong Mui asked, what the hell are these failed kids? A quick look at tinyurl.com/2p9md8w will leave you more fulfilled. He was unaware of such a thing. He was curious about the words of Mumu. Muo, what have you been hiding from us? At that question, young Muo sighed and said, this is a story that you people didn't have to know because they all died. No need to know? Even before me, there were numerous failures. Even those who had the name of Mu were often thrown away in emergencies. Kong Mui's expression went stiff at the words. What the hell is this about, being given the title of Mu but being abandoned? Mumu raised his eyebrows and asked. What are the failed ones? The kids who weren't liked? Young Muo's expression darkened at this. He thought the topic was done, but this was being brought up again. What do you think the meaning of the title and the plaque is? Wasn't it given to those who had the most near to perfect body of the children he gave birth to? Not wrong. Not wrong? It is true that Mu was given to those who had outstanding skills and things. However, that isn't what determined who his successor would be. What? Yang Muo, who looked at Kong Mui and Mumu unable to understand it, said, we are all his alter egos and new vessels. Chapter 157. Piece of Truth. Part 2. What? Kong Mui, who was standing leaning against the wall, frowned. He too was a holder of the jade plaque, but he had never heard of such a story, and the reason was much simpler than he thought. Unlike young Muo, who was middle-aged, Kong Mui was young. Alter ego and vessel? Young Muo nodded and looked at Kong Mui. It is a truth to know in the end. Just like 17 years ago. When their powerful forces made by their father were destroyed, 80% of the troops and numerous sects had lost their lives. Even among those who were within the castle, which was their main base, not a single person survived. Yang Muo sighed and said, phew. I thought not knowing would be better. What nonsense is this now? It is as I said. I thought it would be better for you guys to just regard yourselves as his son, and this is a competition to determine who leads. So did Musa, and so did I. Kong Mui's expression turned heavier with this. How much did Yang Muo know, and how much of the truth did he cover up? Kong Mui had believed that he was given the jade plaque because he had the right to take over the sect. But now there were very unexpected twists. No, actually, he couldn't understand anything about this alternate ego and vessel. What does it mean to be a vessel? No matter how much I tried to understand. Yes, it is as you guessed. I didn't believe it until I actually saw it. Kong Mui gulped. He was feeling worried too. He wouldn't normally have been this upset at these words concerning the ego and such. This raised the question of a new existence. And it was then that Mumu said, what do you mean by vessel? I don't understand. Yang Muo looked at Mumu, who truly didn't understand this. He sighed and said, it means that we aren't the children but the bodies that he will take over. Mumu frowned. He thought he was talking about something, but he still couldn't understand it. Changing. You really don't understand? Kong Mui looked at Mumu like it was hopeless. At this, Mumu titled his head and looked at him, making him turn his head away. And Yang Muo said, we really are not his children but vessels for him to take over. Take over? Kong Mui clicked his tongue at the question of Mumu. Sometimes this guy was sharp, but he didn't understand a lot of things even though it was being explained as best as it could be. Have you ever heard of a body being possessed by a ghost? Are you talking about a dead person taking over a normal person? And this is because father is a strong, maybe not like that. Mumu suddenly remembered the ghost he had seen in the old school building. Even before he saw it, he wasn't sure, but after experiencing the lab rooms, he was sure of it being real. Mumu's eyes narrowed. He didn't understand it at first, but now he knew what it meant. Are you saying that our bodies will be used for a soul to transfer into? Yes. Yang Muo replied bitterly. He too had so many conflicts over the existence of this thing and the truth behind it. And then he knew of the death of the man called his father too. To be precise, it would be right to say that we are a thing. There is no more, no, he isn't here. I don't get this. What do you not understand now? I understand what it means for a soul to change, but it comes into our bodies? To that, Yang Muo gave a short answer. Red soul shifting great arts. Red soul shifting great arts? It is a technique where a person's soul transfers to another person's body. Is that possible? It is. At that Kong Mui said. Red soul shifting great arts? At Yang Muo's words, Kong Mui snorted. It seemed like he was some kid messing around in the academy, but that wasn't it. This is pretty insane. Wasn't the Red Sacred Sect seized before even father was taken down? Right. It was. The Red Sacred Sect. As Kong Mui said, it was a place which was once on the side of the forces of evil. No, it was a strong sect on their side. It prospered so much with its teachings from beyond the West, it moved with the forces of evil to create their own warriors and odd techniques. However, those techniques began to give rise to resentment that even the people of the forces of evil didn't want them anymore. And so they all decided to wipe it from the face of Earth and rejoiced at its destruction. On the surface, it looked like a fight to seize the alliance we had, but in reality it was a war to obtain this technique. I thought that their reason was to get the reverse blood technique from them. At Kong Mui's words, Yang Muo snorted. That was to deceive everyone on the inside. Inside? No matter how great the alliance is, or how strong the trust in the members was, there was no need to let the fact be known that the technique which extends life was being brought in. Damn it. Get rid of any illusions or delusions you have for the man. Yang Muo sighed. He really didn't want to talk about this with Kong Mui. Miel and Mui were born with a purpose, and even if they had different mothers, he felt like they didn't need unpleasant memories. Why? Shocked? You got to know the truth that you have been wanting. Rather refreshing. What? The more I learn, the more I don't like it, but I didn't know that everything classified as failure was because of something like that. What? Yang Muo frowned. After knowing the truth, he thought that Mumu, like Kong Mui, wouldn't be too glad, as he was also a jade plaque owner, but he was rather different. He was confused. Why does he look relieved? Yang Muo was right. Mumu had been thinking of his father until now. The more he got to know of the person he never saw, the more he realized that this real father wasn't a good person. In the meantime, he learned that he wasn't an only child but just a body for the soul to be transferred, and his lingering feelings of anything close to disappointment and confusion vanished. Everything was meaningless. Deep down, Mumu thought that since he was born, there would be something to feel, but it didn't seem worth it now. Rather, it loosened the chains on his heart which had been binding him. On the other hand, Kong Mui was enraged. Damn it. So you and this guy are all tools born to be a body which suits him the best. To put it blandly. How could you know it and not tell? What good will knowing it do? What? The person is dead. He used us as pieces in a board game for the sake of his eternal life, but in the end he died at the hands of the 4 great warriors. Are you saying since he met his end in his own way we should let it go? Then you expect me to share pain with kids? At those words, Kong Mui went silent. It was because Yang Muo had a reason to hide it, a kind of sympathy. Of course, if it was someone else, this wouldn't have felt nice, but Yang Muo was in the same position. So he couldn't hold it against the man. Clench, But he was still angry at the one known as his father. All this was while Kong Mui was thinking himself to be a chosen one. This was why, to make his wish come true and avenge his father, he was making this grand plan. Kong Mui turned to Yang Muo. Kong Mui bit his lip hard at the silent appearance. Even knowing this information could make one lose their mind, and this man was holding it within despite knowing it and not showing any sign of it. Suddenly Kong Mui remembered. Samuhyo, no, Homusa knows this? He was a teacher in the academy. His true identity was Homusa, one of the jade plaque holders. And there was one reason why he asked. It was understood that Homusa, like Yang Muo, wasn't young but around 17 to 18. Yang Muo said. He knows. Kong Mui clicked his tongue at the answer. Damn it, but I am the one being played like an idiot. Yang Muo's expression turned strange at the grumbling of Kong Mui. And he looked at him when Yang Muo said, not everyone has the same reaction. What do you mean? Yang Nyuk sighed as he said. Unlike the rest of us, he regarded his fate as a heavenly order. Heavenly order? He longed to become his vessel. What? Kong Mui was speechless at this, and he turned Mumu and said, you think this all makes sense? It seems like just yesterday we were running into each other with let's die or let's live, and now you are pretending to be pretty friendly with the guy? Are you smart or not? Damn it. He naturally asked because they were in the same situation, but he felt embarrassed. Kong Mui shook his head and said to Yang Muo, does it make sense to have such thoughts without being brainwashed? Each person has his own beliefs. He was only faithful to the purpose for which he was born, so there is no right or wrong. Enough with sophistication. Kong Mui raised his voice, annoyed. Who would ever let themselves be used as such? You might feel it as such, but his thoughts are his own. So the fact that we were born with a purpose does not change. It's true, and yet I cannot accept it. At Kong Mui's words, Yang Muo sighed and laughed. He thought that it might be fortunate to get angry if he at least had some energy left within. Maybe his anger would be more real, and Yang Muo turned to Mumu, does your curiosity end here? Yes. I never had much expectations of him. Didn't have much? Yes. No expectations means no disappointment. Yang Muo frowned at this. This was unexpected. So different. This was a different reaction from most. As the person himself said, there might have been no expectations. It seems that this guy has lived a completely different life from them. Kong Mui shook his head and said, it would have been nice to have an easygoing life like that. If I had been abandoned in the woods and taken in by people who knew nothing about Miram like you, I might have lived more comfortably. Is that a compliment? Kong Mui closed his mouth. Yang Muo asked Mumu. So the next question? You learned the truth about yourself, so go on, I will tell you all. Yes. You should. But I remembered one thing. You remembered one thing? Yes. What is that? In response to his question, Mumu said with a serious look, is it true that the one who considers us as vessels is dead for sure? What? Yang Muo frowned. Why is he asking that? So Kong Mui asked. Is there anyone who doesn't know that he died because of the sudden attack from the 4 great warriors? At that Mumu titled his head as he said. When I was in the academy, an unusual person came to visit me. A quick look at bit.ly/3ibfjkv will leave you more fulfilled. Unusual person? Yes. At that time I thought it was strange that someone I didn't know attacked me so suddenly, but before he died he said my alter ego. At those words, Yang Muo and Kong Mui's expressions went stiff at the same time. Chapter 158. Piece of Truth. Part 3. Strength, back, to, this, body. At those words, Mumu titled his head. What did it mean by that? He was puzzled, and the monster had smiled as it said. So not a moo. The monster's voice, which was stuttering until then, sounded normal. At the monster's words, Mumu looked straight ahead and asked. what is that supposed to mean? I will see you again, my alter ego. And saying that, the body of the monster exploded. Hearing Mumu's words recollected, young Muo opened his mouth, puzzled. It makes no sense. It cannot be. The man had died. Even after his death, didn't the people search through the place to kill everyone for over 15 days? Kong Mui was also unable to believe this. No. That man is dead. He is surely dead. If he was alive, he wouldn't have been hiding for 17 years in the first. Then who was he? He is. Kong Mui couldn't answer the question of Mumu. It was too much for him to say alter ego, or someone else. Didn't he hear about their bodies being a vessel to that man? Kong Mui, who was in denial, turned to young Muo and asked, is there any chance that the technique was used when he was fighting with the 4 great warriors? There is not. To change a soul, which is something which is above the realm of sky, there is no way it can be done like that. Young Muo had personally seen the people practice it to check if it would work. The process of transferring a soul was quite a tough bit of sorcery to execute. And he knew that it wasn't something which could be done by skipping the process. Then what did he meet with? I don't know either. If that monstrous man was alive, there is no way he would have been hidden, and to suddenly appear like now. At that time they felt a presence. Young Muo closed his mouth and someone outside coughed. Uniformed guards, master wishes to see Master Yu. The one who spoke was young John, the successor of the Wicked Spear clan. He was waiting outside and it seemed like a uniformed guard had run to him. Me? Yes. I will come. Mumu opened the door to the room he was in and went through the gap. In the small yard in front of the library, a young government official in a golden robe was there. Puzzled, Mumu asked, "What is it?" A voice which didn't go well with the mask he had on, so the guard was a bit shocked and he asked, "Are you Master Yu?" Mumu, who noticed the reaction, raised his voice a little and said, "Yes." At this, the guy frowned more. "Nanjing's warrior sent me. I came to track down those who left the palace when His Majesty was in the throne room." At that, young John asked him, "So you missed them?" "No. It isn't that." "Then did you catch them?" It couldn't be, but young John asked either way, and at that, the guard shook his head as he said, "That is why I came to take Master Yu to the scene of the incident." "Scene of the incident?" "Yes. I think he should take a look at it." What on earth was it that they were asking for Mumu to come to the scene of an incident? A hill in the forest to the southwest of the capital Ha. At the scene of the hill being blown down and devastated, Kong Mui put on an expression that it was absurd. Yang Muo too. The surroundings were a mess, as if the place had been shelled multiple times over. However, there were no shells. Reverse blood demon arts. He recognized this at once by looking at the traces of the destruction. The traces of destruction, which could have killed many warriors, was something which happened when the internal energy is made to run wild. Mule. What? Seems like Mule fought. Kong Mui frowned at the words of Yang Muo. What brought about these signs of destruction? He thought the only one who could do this was the 4 great warriors or Mumu. But if this was Mule, even my special trick wouldn't save me. He knew that he had endless internal energy, but this showed he was a monster. In the end, it seems that he couldn't have ever been the Lord. However, this was not what was important. For a moment, he had to show such strength. There is no way he would show this level of strength unless he ran into someone strong. Yang Muo agreed with Kong Mui's words. There were no warriors who could show such strength against those weaker to him. However, the problem was that the only ones in the current Murim who could make one go this far were the 4 great warriors and the dead guardians of the imperial palace. But someone did. At that time, the guard who guided them called for them. Over here. Mumu and the others moved there, and they found 8 corpses with dead horses. But neither the bodies or horses had external trauma inflicted on them. The faces looked pained and they were holding a hand to their chests as they died. Young John's eyes widened as if he recognized the faces of some of them and whispered to Mumu, "They are it. The descendants of the 8 evil families." He didn't know all of them, but he knew 3 of the dead, and in response, Mumu pointed to the guards surrounding the place and said, "Can you step aside for a moment? Away from here?" "Yes. I understand." When the one who guided them backed away, the others moved away as well. And before withdrawing, the man who guided them said, "No matter how much we tried, it seemed like they had human skin masks, but none of the dead had theirs ripped off." Ah. What appeared to be a real face which was frowning in pain, seeing that Mumu's eyes shone. To be precise, this was not skin but a human skin mask. Lastly, the uniformed guard said he would move away, and then Yang Mo approached it and picked up the face mask. And he frowned. "I gave this mask to Musa." "Musa?" "Yes. But..." Among the corpses close by, the body of Musa didn't exist, and more importantly, Mule wasn't there either. Just what happened that only Musa and Mule disappeared? He was doubtful that only they had disappeared like this. At that time, Mumu went around to see if he could find anything. "What? Did you find something?" Kong Mui followed Mumu thinking he could have found something. The place where Mumu stopped was a place which had a hole dug in, and it was stained in blood. Bloodstains? It seems to be like that, but the bloodstains here. Like an explosion. It was that the stains made seemed like the body had exploded everywhere, and seeing this, Mumu said, "The same as back then." "Same? Wait, you mean?" "Yes, even then the body suddenly exploded and died." Mumu remembered the monster who came looking for him the next day. The monster's body, the blood splattering around, and the red marks on the ground now, they were the same. Kong Mui's face hardened. "You are saying he got hurt?" "Looks like he appeared and disappeared." The uniformed guards appeared before them and searched the place. However, they found no body. "Chick." Kong Mui staggered as if he was shocked. He didn't want this to be true. Even when Mumu said it, he didn't believe it. But now something similar happened to Mule and Musa. Now, pale-faced, Kong Mui looked at Yang Muo. "Really, is he really alive?" Yang Muo had no answer to it. His hands and feet were already trembling just thinking about it. Goosebumps came up from his spine as he remembered all which he forgot. How did this happen? He thought the man was dead. No human can live past that damage. Yang Muo's breathing turned rough due to the fear of what happened in his childhood. And Young John asked, "What are you talking about?" Kong Mui nervously spoke. "You don't have to know. Among those who died before like that, were there descendants of the 8 evil families?" After Kong Mui had stopped talking, Mumu asked, and to which Young John answered, "Yes. There were. Even the best of the 8 evil families who were known to have amazing martial arts died like this." Young John clicked his tongue. As he said, Heavenly Killing Valley is the best in the 8 evil families. And the descendants of such a place died clenching their hearts. At his answer Mumu let out a sigh. Quite troublesome. The person Mumu wanted was of the Heavenly Killing Valley. During the war 17 years back it was said that a person from that place knew about what happened in the palace. So he tried to find the valley, but then the descendant died? That was the reason he came here, and now he had lost his purpose for coming here. And Kong Mui spoke. "Now that the worst has happened, why are you asking about this?" "I had to meet him." "Heavenly Killing Valley's leader?" "Yes. I had something to ask, but since the descendant has died, it seems difficult." Now, he isn't the problem. Yang Muo interrupted Kong Mui. "What were you trying to ask him?" "They said the Great Guardian was alive and I wanted to know where he was." "Great Guardian? Xiao Yongchu?" "Yes." At that, Yang Muo stroked his beard as he knew about the existence of this person. He too didn't know where he was, but he knew of them. "I know the location of the valley though." Yang Muo knew about the Heavenly Killing Valley. "Really?" Mumu's face turned red. He was back to where he had started, but if Yang Muo knew the place, then it would be different. Then can you tell me where it is? To that Yang Muo said with a serious face, I can tell you. However, if the person you are looking for is the Great Guardian, then take me with you. If it is the Great Guardian, he might know something, whether the man is alive or not. What? Is that true? Kong Mui was surprised and interrupted. Yang Muo nodded. Rather than being certain, he was just speculating. The position of the Great Guardian was literally the one who was beside their father. A person like that must know something, and about this situation too. Then if that is the case, take me with you. You don't have to. Are you going to leave me alone in this situation? Did you forget you had my help the last time? At Kong Mui's words, Mumu and Yang Muo turned to each other. When did they form a brotherly bond? Yang Muo shook his head and said to Mumu, what do we do? If you take me I will tell you where the valley is, otherwise there will be no guide to. Kikik. At that time, Mumu turned the dials on the bands, and both Yang Muo and Kong Mui looked puzzled. Crack. At that moment, Mumu's muscles began to swell up and his skin turned black. They should have been used to it by now, but they all gulped at this. Mumu grabbed both of them by the waist. Hack. What are you doing right now? In response to Yang Muo's question, Mumu said, I am a little busy so let's do it right now. Right now? What are you talking about? To get there. Kong Mui spoke with a flustered face. Damn it. We are going to fly. Fly? You will experience it right now. What is that even supposed? Shoo. Mumu slightly bent his knees towards the floor and Sun Kuang. He flew up into the sky with the two people in hand. Yuk. Thanks to that, Yang Muo screamed, terrified. But it was only for a second. Mumu soared high into the sky in an instant, pierced through the clouds, and moved southwest. Young John, who stayed silent at the tremendous speed, lost his speech at what had transpired.